What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mindful Reality, which features reality TV conversations from a mental health perspective. So, we're going to get into this quick recap of the challenge episode that I just watched tonight. Okay, so this is going to be a quick run through. I might do a longer video later, depending on. I know there's going to be a lot of discussions about this, but this one is just a real quick run through. So at the beginning of this episode, we saw a little Cyrus highlight. I like how they've been showing these highlights of the old seasons and these odes to the challengers that have made this show a classic over the years and kept things going over the years. So love Cyrus. Cyrus is one of my favorites. It has a confessional where CT talks about why he nominated himself. He's like, we're all gonna have to go down in there eventually. So if there's one thing about CT, he doesn't play a scared game. And the thing is, he's been in so many of these houses, so many of these games. I think it's just like my time is gonna come eventually. I'd rather have the power to nominate myself and kind of control my destiny versus somebody throwing me in. So that's what happened with that. So we got in a room where Olivia was confronting Josh about volunteering to be the target. And she said in her confessional, she was like, the reason that I volunteered, or part of the reason why I volunteered, was because I was volunteering with Josh. So Olivia felt that Josh gave her some insulation because Josh is so connected in the house. Josh has so many friends and relationships and has been on the show for a while now. So she felt like people wouldn't necessarily want to nominate me and Josh. So she felt a way about that. And Josh pretty much admitted I wanted to go in or I was planning to go in, but CT being there changed my mind. That's essentially what he was getting at in a long-winded way. So it showed Tina on the other end was saying that it's good to be a target with CT because everybody's scared of CT. Nobody wants to go against CT, which is great as long as you don't come in last place in the daily, right? So then we get into this part where Kara, it shows in her confessional, is saying that Laurel has been there for so many lows, but she has also caused some of them. It showed a little bit of how the Michelle and Devin showman started. Michelle was like, me and Devin have never been single at the same time on a challenge, so this was just never an option. So maybe they had some kind of vibes before, but they had just never taken action on those. And it showed them kissing and it showed them, well, it's insinuated and showed that they were going to get it on later. People were kind of joking with them about that. We talked about the Vacation Alliance, and I want to say I don't know who called it the Vacation Alliance. Like I almost want to say Polly did, but somebody can correct me in the comments. I don't remember who created the Vacation Alliance name, but the Vacation Alliance consists of Josh, Casey, Tori, and Devin, and which were all basically saying, "Hey, y'all can hate on us because we're friends and we go on vacations together and we're an alliance." Um, and Josh says, "Oh, it's not our fault that we dominate the game every season." And I'm like, "You don't dominate." I mean, Josh is part of a dominant alliance in terms of socially, he keeps himself out of hot water the majority of the time, despite the fact that he has a lot of blow-ups. He gets pretty far in the game usually without having to face eliminations. So dominant in that sense, but then I feel like if they just dropped you in here and you were just basing everything on your relationships, on your strengths in the game, and on your friendships without your people there with you, would you enjoy the same kind of social dominance? Because that's the only thing I'm going to give him, social dominance. My answer is no. So we get into this daily where they are moving this apparatus that has sandbags on it, and they're moving it through the trees, and then they have to take the sandbags off and balance this balance beam. Era one is having all kinds of trouble doing this. Everybody wants to be in charge. It shows CT yelling, Tina yelling, like nobody's listening to me. It shows Derek yelling. Derek doesn't even usually do that, honestly. So there was that whole thing. And what ended up happening too, there's another part of it is that era two. So Laurel ended up throwing the challenge. She was barely lifting the thing, and it highlighted that in the episode that she threw that challenge because she wants Emily out. And to remove all doubt, it showed her actually saying in her confessional, why wouldn't I want her out? She's a strong competitor. So that's the thing. I guess you can say, in one sense, oh, you want to get out the strong competitors. But if you're playing via eras, I just really don't like the fact that you would play to get out the strong women on your own team before the game is even separated. Mm. Laurel wants to be the HBIC always. Laurel wants to be the dominant force. Laurel wants to be somebody who intimidates people. And when there's other women on there that are strong and do not show the propensity to be intimidated by her, she wants them out. So there's no history that I know of. There's no like bad blood history, I mean, with her and Emily, but she just wants her out because she's a strong woman. So era four, because era four wins, that means that Kylan and Olivia, who were the targets for that era, are safe. Hi, DM Rocks. And because era one was in last place, and because CT and Tori, not Tori, CT and Tina were the targets, that means that they're automatically going into elimination. So once again, Kylan and Olivia are safe. CT and Tina are going into elimination automatically. So CT and Tina have an argument. Then at the end of the argument, it's like, I love you. The funny thing is, I know how that goes. Like, once you've known somebody a certain amount of time, these are OGs that have been on the show for so long that it's like we can have this argument about the game, and it's just the game. So I want to, by the way, y'all, I'm gonna watch whenever Cara Maria does her TikTok because before this episode even aired, I'm gonna check if it's on right now, as a matter of fact. Sorry for the pause here, but Cara Maria said there. So I found out that they have access to the episodes a day before we do. So they all watched the episode before we saw it. I don't know if that was always the case, but I know that's the case now. Sorry. So Kara said that she is going to go on Instagram. Okay. I mean, she said that she's going to go on TikTok. I'm sorry, not Instagram. Anyways, she has not put up the video yet. So when she finally does put up that video, I have some ideas. That's why I stopped. I have some amazing ideas. But I'm gonna get back to that. So let's see. After CT and Tina argued, CT said, "I'm sorry that I yelled. I'm just passionate about the game," or whatever he said. And then Tina was like, "I'm sorry too. It was nothing. Water under the bridge." Um, Corey and Nehemiah were having a talk, and Corey was like, "I can't trust anybody in this game except Nehemiah. Nehemiah is like my number one person that I trust, and I don't trust anybody else." And then Devin and Tori, let's see. Okay, so Nehemiah has a talk with Devin. One second, one second, one second. I will be right back. Making all that noise. Sorry for the delay. So, okay, where was I? All right, so Nehemiah and Devin were having a conversation, and Nehemiah was trying to make a deal with Devin about working together. And then Devin was like, "I have to talk to Tori about it. We'll see." And then it showed Devin in the confessional talking about, "I don't want to commit to any deals like that, any hard deals like that, because there might be something more advantageous down the line." Honestly, Devin, in a way, was calling upon his inner Wes, because that's like something Wes would do or say. I feel like he's the modern day Wes, except he's not painted as that type of guy, but he really is when you watch the way he moves in his body of work. So essentially, they didn't show us what was the end result, but they did show Devin in the confessional saying, "I don't really feel good about that deal offer." So when we get into, I forgot, I don't know what they call it in this season, but when they're having their discussion, it was cool that they had that big hourglass. That was kind of cool. So basically, when they were having that discussion about pleading their case to see who gets voted in and who's safe, Devin threw Nehemiah under the bus and mentioned that deal offer that he made in front of everybody. And it made Kylan look at him differently. I guess maybe it made everyone look at him differently. Um, yeah. So I just figured that Devin and Tori wouldn't go in just because they're a popular duo. They have so many connections within the house. I just figured that they were not going to go in. Waiting to make sure a better offer doesn't come through. So after that, it gets into the infamous Laurel Michelle argument, which I'll probably make a video of this by itself. But this is going to be a short live just because I'm actually going to be watching the Big Brother episode that's airing after this. And this was just a short intermission. I realized I had a little bit of time to do this. So Laurel and Michelle are arguing because of prior beef they had from Michelle throwing Laurel into an elimination. Laurel has never forgotten about it. Laurel remembers everything that everybody else does wrong, but nothing that she does wrong, apparently. So Cara, she posted this on her Instagram story where she said that Laurel was basically said to her before the part they put on the show, um, "I'm not going to be your friend and I will never be your friend outside of this house." Right. So that's the point when she came in and she says that she was trying to protect Michelle. and she came in and she was like, "I'll be your friend outside of here," but because production, I don't know what they wanted to protect Laurel or something, or not make it look as bad, or not really give us the context. But it just looked like she just jumped in out of nowhere, and then Laurel was like, basically, this is an A and B conversation. She didn't say it to Kara, but she said in the confessional, Kara was no part of this discussion and she just jumped in. It had nothing to do with her and she should have just kept quiet, right? So then a verbal altercation ensues between Kara and Laurel, of which they're giving us very little context. They're showing us a little video montage of past times that Laurel had Kara's back. They're showing us the All Stars 4 argument that they had when Kara was trying to have Laurel's back. But then this was so crazy because from what they showed us, we don't see anything that makes them have to have like 3, 4 bodyguards. I don't remember exactly how many there were, but the fact that there was bodyguards at all, because I'm looking at the fight and then I'm like, wait a minute. I mean, I'm looking at the verbal fight because it didn't look like anyone touched anyone else aside from, you know, Laurel going like this and putting her finger in Kara's face and Kara doing it back. It didn't look like it needed like big bodyguards to get in the middle of them, but that's because they didn't show us what was said. And then Laurel was like a raging monster. She was just like, "Don't you ever say that to me," or "How dare you say that to me," or whatever she said. I can't remember her exact wording, but whatever it was like they were going back and forth, and there was some button that Kara pressed or something that sent her over the edge. Granted, I don't know what sends her over the edge because the challenge never shows us that, but it wasn't proportionate to what they were talking about. And I feel like there was more things that were said. And some of the challengers have come out and actually said that there's more that happened that is not aired. Like several of them said that. And that's why I'm very curious to see when Kara finally makes her post, her TikTok, where she said she's going to speak about it, because I'll probably come back here and make another live based on whatever context that she gives us. And then if Laurel gives us more context or a response, I'll go there too. I'll recap that too. So that was that. That was like the big thing in the episode. So it showed Kylan saying that Laurel doesn't get a fair shake, blah, blah, blah. He thinks Kara was doing some wrong too. Some people are like wrong on both sides. Some people are team Kara, some people are team Laurel. Like I said, I'll get more into this in another video. But we get into the elimination. And as expected to me, the people that were chosen to go into the elimination were Nehemiah and Emily. So the first elimination was Emily versus Tina. Tina looked like the underdog. Tina is much smaller than Emily, and Emily is just a beast. She's strong. She's never lost an elimination, apparently. I didn't know that. I don't know how many she's been in, but I do remember her being a beast back in the day. And I do know that she's super into fitness still. So it was this like, I want to say almost janky, like hammer and nails. You hit the nails out of this board, and then you go to the next board. It's like a Jordan special because I remember Jordan winning something, not exactly that, but something kind of like that, except his is like the sledgehammer. And, I remember him winning something like that with one hand, amazingly. So Tina pulls off the upset. Now we get to the big dog, CT, the franchise, the logo, the greatest challenger of all time, widely regarded by fans and peers, going against the ultimate underdog, which is Nehemiah. Nehemiah pulls off the W. So the two underdogs, which are Tina and Nehemiah, sorry. Yeah, I'm right. I almost forgot as I was saying it again. Tina and Nehemiah pull off these huge upsets. Even TJ says that. And unfortunately, CT and Emily, two of my favorites, but especially CT, going home. There's a lot more. It looks like in the previews, there's a lot more drama to come. There's a lot more things going on. CT, it showed CT and Emily making some kind of ranking because TJ said, once again, the way you treat people may come back to bite you. So that's where we're at. I'm enjoying the season again so far. I don't like the edit of that argument because they did not give us enough context, but that's been the theme of the challenge over the past few years. Recently, I get why they do it, but I don't love it. And like I said, now the fact that we have all these people that break down and tell us more of what happened in the house, once I collect more data, this is just my instant reaction. I'm gonna make another video where I break things down in more depth once I get different sides of the story. So, thank you for joining me. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more amazing content. Thank y'all. Have a good night.